Hi, and welcome to Deepwell Archival Services. In today's brief 5-minute video, we're going to discuss the top 3 or 4 reasons why you should consider the implementation of a vendor-neutral archive technology solution. We'll look at the positive impact that a VNA technology solution can have on your imaging organization. We'll also look at the very negative impact that it can have as well. And we'll do that in the context of some real-world examples. So let's look at the reasons why, how a VNA technology can affect your organization. Let's say you've decided to go with a new PACS vendor, found some better functionality, better economics, better pricing, and just found a solution that better fits your business model. Okay, well, great. You've got your maintenance contracts, or let's say they're coming to, they're terminating in 60 days, so great time to switch vendors. You budgeted for data migration here, you budgeted for the new solution, great. Let's go. Whoops, no, not so fast. You've probably got data formatting issues here that even though you've considered a migration, it may, unless you've really explored at a very granular level what's going on here with the old vendor and the new vendor, you've probably got compatibility issues, probably got different database structures, record locator structures, all those things. The biggie is here, back here in these proprietary data and file and compression formats. Okay, the DICOM is known as the most non-standard standard on the planet. So these vendors all have DICOM interfaces, but hidden under the covers, you've probably got some scary proprietary data and compression formats that may add significantly more dollars than you budgeted for your migration. So, all of a sudden you're looking at, well, great, we're ready to go, and all of a sudden the migration becomes just a exorbitant piece of your of your budget, and you may look at, well, geez, do we have to go to a fallback plan? Do we have to stick with vendor A? Okay, so why do vendors want to lock you in, and how do they do that? Well, let's look at that. Vendor lock-in strategy 101. In any business, customer retention is king. This is the gold standard, whether it's Ford Motor Company wanting to retain you, as a consumer of their automobiles, or a PACS vendor wanting to retain you. They get repeat business, hardware and software maintenance contracts, recurring revenues, gold standard, beautiful. The businesses love that. Ready-made add-on business for new products and technology. Customer retention is #1. Okay, so all of a sudden, again, this vendor lock-in strategy becomes, wow, we didn't realize that that we were locked in so tightly to this PACS vendor. So, how do we shrink and how do we keep these vendor lock-in strategies under control and under management? Well, you look at a vendor-neutral archive technology, okay? In a migration process from vendor A to vendor B, from a data perspective, the most expensive, risky portion of that is always the archive. Why? Well, because it's the largest portion of your storage and it's the oldest portion. You've got probably several revisions of data formats in your archive. So we look at a VNA technology. What does that do for you? Well, in order to call yourself a VNA, we at Deepwell believe you have to do 2 fundamental things. You have to adhere explicitly to the DICOM standard as written. If you don't, you can't guarantee the longevity and the long-term preservation of your customer's diagnostic study data, period. So and secondly, you have to provide automated data migrations as a background process to latest, greatest storage technologies. Again, without those 2 things, without those 2 fundamental components, you cannot guarantee the preservation and the longevity of your customer's diagnostic study data. End of story. Okay, so anything above that is vendor positioning and vendor fluff, and we want to stay away from all that. So all of a sudden your storage starts to become a really, really big part of your decision-making process, whether you're going from PACS vendor A to PACS vendor V, or whether you're looking at a new 3D visualization infrastructure. Storage and archive is critical. How do we handle the VNA solution, technology solution? Okay, we're an on-site, off-site implementation. This on-site, and we adhere explicitly to the DICOM standard throughout. Okay, so on-site we're providing a Tier 2 image cache. We're also tightly integrated with the PACS and the primary storage. Okay, now that process, though, this on-site component is tightly integrated with the back-end deep archive storage centers, but it's also decoupled. Why? We're providing automated data migrations here as a background process to ensure the always reliable, always available, always secure environment for your data. We're refreshing constantly the latest, greatest storage technologies. We segregate that or decouple that process from this on-site implementation of our Tier 2 image cache, so that we don't cause any modifications to be required with the PACS vendor due to modifications in the deep archive. So a decoupled but tightly integrated strategy. Also, you have to consider, when you're looking at a VNA vendor, support for DICOM Part 10. So that's a high level of how a VNA can benefit or not benefit, cause actually damage to your organization. We think there's just a couple fundamental things to look out for. We encourage you to look at the other videos on our website, and we hope to see you on the next video presentation.